how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode, and exciting news coming from the He-Man universe. If you follow this channel, you know that they've actually decided to make a live-action movie of He-Man, and I am excited. I am giddy. I'm getting the same goosebumps I got the first time I heard they were actually going to be making a Transformers movie. Because if you are unfamiliar with He-Man, He-Man was a huge cartoon for us, especially as a millennial. I grew up watching this cartoon. This cartoon shaped a lot of what we saw in the comic world, right? I mean, this hero is this hulking figure that was all good, right? Fought the forces of evil. It was so awesome to see him transform because, He-Man is actually Prince Adam, if you're unfamiliar. Prince Adam is a prince in Eternia. And, he's really comical, a lot of humor. Think of Spider-Man, right? He transforms into He-Man, right? This superhero, right? This hulking figure that is badass in every way. So the fact that we obviously know that Nicholas Galitzine is actually going to be basically portraying or playing He-Man. It's going to be interesting because he's been in a bunch of rom-coms. He's been in one that I really like. It's a movie called Purple Heart. It's a really good romantic comedy. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really, really, really cool. He's in the military, ends up marrying this girl because she needs health care, and they don't like each other, and then they end up. So I'm not going to give up a lot of the plot. So you got to go watch it. It's a really, really good romantic comedy if you haven't watched it. Yeah, my only question, the only thing I had in terms of whatever reservations I had about him portraying He-Man was the fact that he's been in a bunch of rom-coms. Is he going to be badass? Because he can play Prince Adam. Is he going to be able to play He-Man? So, that's, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But it's a really, really, really big deal. So I'm assuming number one, he has to bulk up to really, really play He-Man. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But the exciting news is actually the fact that we've actually now received news of who else, or certain characters, or certain actors they want to play certain characters. And one of them is Jared Leto playing Skeletor. Now, if you aren't familiar with Skeletor is the protagonist in the He-Man universe. He is the Joker to a Batman, right? The Lex Luthor to a Superman. He is a supervillain. And he is extremely powerful. And the fact that they've actually tagged Jared Leto to play Skeletor is a lot of fun because we've seen Jared Leto be a bad guy and play him extremely well. I loved him as Morbius. I don't know why people didn't really love this movie. I really loved it. And, this movie came right after Avengers Endgame. So I don't know if it was people not really liking the fact that Marvel went dark really fast. I don't know, but I really liked Morbius. And I've seen that movie several times. I really liked it. He really, really played a really cool Morbius. We've also seen him play the Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I specifically say Zack Snyder's Justice League because he also played the Joker in the first Suicide Squad movie. And we hated it because, number one, he probably had 5 minutes. And then we later learned that the studio interfered with that movie, that they watered down that movie to look like a Marvel movie. They added a bunch of humor. They did the Joker itself, because the Joker actually had such a big role in that movie, and the Joker was supposed to be so badass and so evil, and they decided to change it so that the audiences can feel like it's a Marvel movie and go watch it. So obviously we later learned after David Ayer, who was the director of Suicide Squad, who later came out and said, hey, that's not the version I made for the fan base. And then obviously that released the Ayer cut, which is still actually trending to this day. Because as a fan, we want to see what we originally wanted, or what was originally meant for us to see. The fact that Warner Brothers actually interfered. Warner Brothers has done a bunch of BS in a bunch of movies. So yeah, but he played the Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he was so awesome. Even though he didn't really, this was end credits. But if you've seen that clip of him playing the Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I wish we could have got that. So I have no doubt that he can actually play a really cool Skeletor because he plays a bad guy really well. So Jared Leto playing Skeletor, yeah, I think that's an absolute win. Another character we know that's going to be portrayed on the He-Man movie is Teela. If you're unfamiliar with Teela, Teela is actually she's basically the captain of the Royal Guard. She's like a general, right? And she's also like a future love interest for He-Man, more so than Prince Adam. And sometimes it's vice versa, right? But we know that she's going to be played by Camila Mendes. And if you're unfamiliar with Camila Mendes, she's done a few romantic comedies as well. And it's funny because we're going to have several actors who are predominantly in the rom-com sphere, like The Perfect Date or Musica. So I don't know if she has range to play Teela, because Teela is a really, really strong general. Think of Wonder Woman, right? She is badass, just like that. So always ready to defend and protect and go to war. That's how Teela is. So she's going to have to really physically embody Teela. So I guess we'll see, because she's not a really big person, and so we'll see. Maybe she'll transform. We'll see what happens. Another character that we know is coming to this movie is Evil Lynn. Now, Evil Lynn is a witch, really powerful witch. And she's also a supervillain, right? Next to Skeletor, she's one of the most powerful supervillains in the He-Man universe, right? And obviously, you would want to tap into somebody. Like, she would have to be somebody who's done certain movies, horror movies, or I don't know, some really dark kind movies to portray, because you always want something to carry. You always want the fan base to feel like, because I remember watching Immortals, watching Henry Cavill play a Perseus in Immortals, and the first time we heard Zack Snyder say that he cast Henry Cavill to play Superman, I remember going, okay. In Immortals, even though he was muscular, he wasn't Superman muscular. You know what I mean? But I was like, okay, I see it. And then obviously he became Superman, and physically he embodied Superman. So that's what I'm saying. You would feel like, yeah, it's kind of like seeing Jared Leto play Mobius. Yeah, I can see him play Skeletor. But Evil Lynn is a very, very powerful witch in that universe, and she's a supervillain. She's extremely powerful. So who do they cast to play Evil Lynn? Alison Brie. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Alison Brie, and to be honest, I had to look her up. I really did. I wasn't really familiar with her, but I also realized once I looked her up, I've seen a movie that she's been in. Freelance. I've seen her in Freelance, and she was actually really good. She really was. But again, that's another typical kind of movie, like a rom-com. But she was also voiced in the Logo movie. So I don't know. I really don't know. Again, here's another casting that I have questions about, because you're asking them to play a certain character, but we haven't seen them play similar or play really villainous, badass characters. So again, some actors can really transcend, right? And really bring a lot into different characters. You have method actors, right? Like I've seen Wesley Snipes play Blade, but he's also played a trans woman. He's also been in romantic comedies. He's also been, you know what I mean? So, but he's a method actor. So he can kind of switch. He knows how to bring it. So maybe Alison Brie is a method actor. Maybe she can bring that. But to me, my only question is, will she be badass? Because she has to be badass and she has to be evil. So I guess it's a wait and see kind of thing. We'll wait and see. And then finally, this is another one that I feel was definitely hell yes. Man at Arms. Man at Arms is another character in the He-Man universe, and this is a character that basically embodies every weapon you can think about on two legs. I mean, his head shifts, his arms transform, his whole body transforms into weapons, right? So very powerful, and almost too powerful sometimes. And but also another cool thing about Man at Arms is he is basically the voice, the reason when it comes to He-Man. He is almost like that console person that always tends to really bring He-Man back and Prince Adam back to Earth. Really remind them of the purpose and the vision of whatever they're trying to do. He's that voice of reason. And I love the fact that they actually decided to go with Idris Elba. Idris Elba is playing Man at Arms, and I bet you he's going to have a lot of camera time because you cannot cast Idris Elba and not give him enough camera time or enough lines because he is going to put people in them seats. Idris Elba should have been James Bond. He should have been, but he's also played in a bunch of movies. In DC, he played Bloodsport in the recent Suicide Squad movie, and I really liked him as Bloodsport. In Marvel, Heimdall in Thor. I mean, come on. Hobbs and Shaw, main villain, right? So he's in Sonic. Come on now, he's been in Prometheus. I mean, I can go on and on, The Wire. I can go on and on and on when it comes to Idris Elba. But this is actually a pretty cool cast. And I can't wait to see him portray Man at Arms. And see how because again, Idris Elba always brings a certain je ne sais quoi when it comes to every character he plays. So I'm excited to see what he actually brings to this movie as the Man at Arms. I am excited, but this is fun. Now, obviously, there are a lot of other characters to come, and the moment we hear who else is coming in or what character is also going to be portrayed, I will let you guys know. I just wanted to update you guys who are He-Man fans. Moving forward, expect to see these actors play these characters. Some I have questions about. You let me know if you have questions about Teela and Evil Lynn. Tell me how excited you are about seeing Idris Elba play Man at Arms or Jared Leto play Skeletor. I'm actually looking forward to that. But anyway, like and subscribe. Let's keep growing with this channel. How do you feel about these actors portraying these characters, especially if you're a He-Man fan? And if you're not, go do your research, He-Man, or go watch Masters of the Universe on Netflix. Familiarize yourself with He-Man. See why we're excited to see this movie finally on live action. Anyway, that's all from the He-Man sphere. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.